Just wanted to share some quick intro rules for how you guys can participate in today's call. This is different than our usual webinars, wherein you guys would submit questions and we would answer them, but only from our perspective. Here, I wanted to be able to hear your guys' voice too, because I know that this is a complicated conversation. So if at any point you do wish to chime in, or if I'm asking questions, if you look at the bottom of the Zoom bar, there's a button labeled reactions. And if you click on that, there's an option for raise hand, which will do what my screen is now doing. Put a little hand emoji there and kind of push you towards the front. So if you ever do want to ask a question, feel free to just press that and then I'll know to come to you guys next. You can also press lower hand and it'll go away if you decided you don't want to ask the question after all. So that's some basics there. You can use the chat as well. Just be aware that this recording will be shared afterwards with the broader community. That said, can we go around and do a quick round of introductions? You don't have to share too much. You can just share your name and maybe why you're here or what team or group you're affiliated with if you're with the university. I'll just start by saying my name is Shane. I've been working with this TII project for a little while now. And I've been helping people both get engaged with it and then also answer questions for the audience by relaying your questions to the sponsor, TII. I work with HeroX though, and I've been with them for a few years, and it's just a pleasure to be with you today. With that said, Marcos, could I pass to you real quick if you want to do an introduction?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Thank you.
All right. My name is Marcos. I've joined the challenge because I'm actually also working with McEliece in my in my day-to-day job, and I was interested in seeing if maybe I can figure out, other use cases and vulnerabilities like the one in the challenge. So that's the main interest for me in this specific challenge.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it sounds like you're going to be right in the alley for this. Could be exactly what you're looking for. So thanks for joining us. It looks like Teodoro gave his interest as well, or introduction as well. He said he's very interested in knowing about the resources he can use to solve the challenge. Thanks for that, Teo. Ayush, would you like to give an introduction as well?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Ayush. I joined this competition because while working for my thesis, I was trying to secure the cyber physical system, and I was unable to come up with something as general yet complex for securing the messages and recovering them. So I think I might be able to submit a solution. I'm not sure what kind, but I'm just really excited about this competition, so I joined it.
That's great. Thanks for lending us your time. As I'll show you guys, there are two ways to participate as well, between actually solving some of these instances and then also submitting it in a paper. And so maybe one of those will be more relevant to you, but thanks for joining. And lastly, it's like we had Aluru join. Would you be willing to give a quick introduction and maybe share why you're here today? If not, you can put it in the chat too, and that's okay. Great, we'll just leave it there. Well, with that said, let me share my screen and show you guys a bit about how the challenge page works. And then I'm going to get into asking you guys some questions and talking about resources too. So one moment here as I get this set up. Okay, sorry, I took a second because I got this other monitor here. I had to sort through some things. Okay, so here's the challenge page. Some of you may have already seen this, but if you're not aware, this is located at HeroX.com. In this instance, HeroX/TII McEliece challenges. If you came to HeroX.com though, and you search TII up here, you'd be able to find it that way as well. That said, this overview tab under the summary here is going to contain all the information you need to know about how to participate. I'm not going to go through all of it, but it does walk you through what this challenge is about, what the different methods of submitting are. We actually have 4 methods of submitting, so tracks 1A and 1B, and tracks 2A and 2B. Track 1A is that paper submission format with the theoretical key recovery improvements. 1B has to do with practical key recovery, and then tracks 2A and 2B are both message recovery, but they're different hardness levels. That said, most of where you'll have access to data in this challenge is from this leaderboard tab. So over here, you'll see that tracks 1B, 2A, and 2B are represented. These have each instance numbered here and then ranked in order of hardness. If you were to actually click on one of these, it would bring you to the GitHub dedicated to this challenge where you can access the information for that specific instance for when you eventually try to solve it. You can use this information for that purpose. But then also, if you go to TII Decoding Challenge here, there's some other information such as a README and these other folders which are related to the various other tracks for submitting here. So just wanted to show you how to access that GitHub. It's through any of those instance numbers on the leaderboard. But what would happen if you did submit correctly to one of these instances is that some of the information from your submission would actually automatically populate. Sorry, we have a lot here. Would actually automatically populate and rank your team as the highest one. So if you've solved instance 74 and you're the highest person to have solved that, you're currently in the lead and will win the prize if the challenge concludes with you on top. These 2 down here are toy instances that have already been solved by a competitor. They don't count for a prize, but you're welcome to actually still click on this number and attempt to solve those 2 if you wish to practice on toy instances. If you open this up as well, some more information about how they did so is available. Last 2 things I'll show you is that if you have a question, this forum tab is the perfect place to ask it. One, myself and the TII team, who is in a bunch of different time zone, will be responding here. But 2, you might also get a response from your fellow competitors. Say you're looking for someone to work with you or to team up. This is a great place to do that. Last thing is that if you are ready to submit, say you've chosen that you want to submit to track 2A, instance number 72 here, you would come to the My Entries button after clicking Solve this challenge. Let's go to 2A here, click Begin Entry. Give your submission a title, which is really just used for reference so that you know what this is. You might say instance 72, attempt 1 or attempt 3, or your team name. And then down here, there's some required information that we need to have around just some contact information. So who are the people on your team? What is the email address of the person in charge of the team? And then further down, you actually would be solving it. So here I would select 72. I would type in my response or my solution as explained here in this template. And then I provide some additional information about how I got there. When you click Save and Preview, I don't know if it'll let me do it without formatting this correctly. I have a feeling it won't. But if you did that, it would give you the chance to review what you had submitted. Yeah, it looks like it's not going to let me because I don't have it perfectly formatted. But you would review what you had submitted and click Final Submit. And at that point, you would actually get a notification up here under this bell, which will tell you whether or not your submission was correct or incorrect for the instance you chose. So I'm going to leave this and go back to the leaderboard, but you could also check here. And if it was correct, it should be updated within a minute or so. And so you can then see your name at that new location. I know that was a lot of info, but I just wanted to get that in the recording so people know how they can participate in this challenge. Again, you view the information through this leaderboard tab, you read how to participate in the summary tab, and then you submit through this blue button here. But that's really the gist of that. Do you guys have any questions on the how to participate side of things, or will we jump into some community questions now? Alrighty, well, why don't we move forward then to the fun, meaty part of this discussion. So I'm very welcome to take any questions from you guys that are specific about this challenge. And if I don't know how to answer them, I'll go to the TII team and follow up with a response. But I'd first like to ask, for those of you who are interested in participating, is there a reason that you're not sure you'd be able to participate? And if so, what is that reason? What's holding you back from joining this challenge? And feel free to just unmute if you have a response.
Computation resources are expensive.
Good point. Is anyone else having that same issue? Theodora, you mentioned that you were interested in resources as well. Is that a similar problem for you, or is there a different resource you're talking about?
No, I'm just new on this uh, uh, challenge, so I just want to learn more how to solve the challenge.
Sure, wanting to know what's available. I'm not entirely certain yet in terms of what TII has available in the computational resource area, but that's something that we're considering, or at least looking into, make sure that competitors have what they need. Marcos, is there anything that you can see as well from your side where you'd like to join this challenge, but there's just something you're worried about or not sure it's going to be worth it?
No, I just think I just need to set aside time and start working on it, but no, nothing that's holding me back at the moment.
Noted. If I can ask a follow-up question, in your work, does it seem as though these bit hardness numbers are something that is something you're familiar with? I know that at 2B, things are shooting pretty high as they get up into the 90 level. But yeah, does that still feel like something that would be something you're interested in, or do you only have time to really shoot for something more in the middle?
Yeah, I'd start with the 2A. I did look at the 2B challenge, and yeah, I think it would be easier to approach, and depending on how that goes, maybe I can try the second challenge.
Noted. Okay, good to know. Thank you. Um, that said, let's see here. Following up on that, Ayush, do you have any questions that you'd like me to ask the TII team, or any questions about the challenge in general?
I'm not sure yet. I will just ask later, maybe.
Sure, yeah. If you do have those questions, though, the forum tab that I showed you is a great place. I'll be active there, so will our team. So you can ask your questions there, and we'll be able to respond. Let's see here. Additionally, when it comes to resources, is finding a team member something that either of you are hoping to do or struggling with, or is it really more of an issue of time, money, and computational power?
I haven't seen anybody in the forum looking for teammates, but maybe I can try myself asking. So, yeah.
Sure. Is that something you would need as well, Ayush, or is it more just the resources you're looking for?
Right now, I don't have a specific timeline how I'll be implementing it. So I'm right now in the I'm writing really rough notes aside. Apart from that, I have not done anything. So I'm not sure. Yeah, but I do work with like computational resources, and I do know that it will cost a lot because I don't have credits to use from because I have exhausted those credits. So I would really appreciate if I could get computational resource, or like even if it is in the form of like not in the form, if it's not in the form of cost, maybe they could help with at least one processor, like it does not need to be in the form of credits. It can be in the form of like hardware, like the CPU, GPU, or whatever they are providing.
Right. Yeah, no, thank you for clarifying that. That kind of information is really helpful for us. Well, I'll bring that to the TII team and see what their thoughts are. I know you mentioned you had just taken some notes about timeline. I just wanted to share this page as well to say that the submission deadline is not until May 8th of next year. But that said, I know that these kinds of computations can take quite a while. And so there might be some factoring of when do I start? How do I ensure that I can get things done in time for the actual submission deadline? If that is the case, just be aware that the May 8th is when we're looking to close the submissions to this challenge. However, you can submit as many times as you like to as many instances as you like before then. So keep that in mind, that you can keep testing and iterating over and over again, even on ones that have already been solved if you'd like to, all the way through this challenge. That said, I just encourage you both to not forget this theoretical key recovery paper one. Again, this one is just largely where they wanted to hear your findings, your insights, where you're thinking of towards the future. Marcos, it sounded like this could be one that fits you as well. So if this is something you wanted to do alongside submitting to the actual instances, if you do sign up for the challenge and go again to my entries, oh, sorry, it's just taking a second to load here. And then view the submission form for track 1A, you'll get a sense of what they're asking for there. And I think they've also provided a sort of template for what that kind of paper should look like. Let's see. Abstract, authors, affiliation, your email address, and then an upload of that paper. That's right. So if I come back here, I think the template should be provided right here. The Springer lecture notes and computer science style template. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be crazy long. Like, honestly, if it was only 10 pages or a little bit less, maybe 5 pages, that's something that they would look into. I think the main point is give the information you need to give, but just remember that if you were a judge, how much time could you devote to one paper? You know, be brief enough. Otherwise, I think that's about it for me. I'm happy to bring these items to the TII team, as I mentioned, and see what sort of additional support we can offer to you guys, if any. But that said, do you have any more questions you'd like me to ask them that I can follow up with later?
Do you know where this is hosted, this instance is?
Do you mean on the internet, or in terms of where the host is from, the challenge?
No, I mean on the internet.
Yeah, they should be in GitHub.
Yeah, GitHub.
I should think if you go to the leaderboard there, Ayush, you can view any instance by clicking on the number next to it, just like this. And if you give it a second, it'll actually load the code, but there we go. So this is for 255 on track 2A. Did that answer your question, or did I miss what you meant?
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. That's also true for tracks, 2A and 2B here. This was actually 1A, I got it backwards. I'm really screwing up my words today, don't worry about it. Okay, so yeah, you can access them here, and then like I showed you, once you've pulled it up, you can even go to the higher folder here for TII Decoding Challenge and just view everything related to this depository if you'd like to. All right. I think that's all I've got. I'll stop it there. But again, please feel free to follow up in the forum. Share this challenge with any other McEliece people that you know. Again, there's a lot of prizes going around here. And so say if you're really good at one part of it, but you have a friend who'd be great at the paper, or might be better at tracks 2A and 2B than 1B, just feel free to spread the news. There is a function on the HeroX page where you can advertise that you're looking for team members. If you really wanted to do that, you could follow up with that, but you're also welcome to compete alone. So both are fully acceptable. That's all I've got though. And let's see here. Yep, I answered that other question too. Okay. All right, gang. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and feel free to reach out to me anytime you have a question.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all.
Yes, thank you very much, Shane.
Hope to see you guys submit very much so. Bye.